Hello out there, and this is DZ, your Overlord Dezeran, and welcome back to the 25th Ward, the Silver Case. Now, okay, so we're playing Morishima, so we can talk to the hostess. You enter in a 4-digit number, and if the number and position are correct, the hit light will glow. If only a number is correct, the blow light will glow. I see. So it doesn't automatically find out the number for you then. That'd be nice, but no. Okay, that's understandable. Okay. So if I use this... So if I put in, say... like 0327. Okay, so 2 of those are right. What? Okay. So is the 6 the one in the wrong place? Okay, no. The 0 was right. Oh? Okay, wait, so... Hang on. Okay. So these are the digits, 0225. I just have one... Wait. If 3 are correct and 1 is in the wrong... What? That doesn't make sense. What? How can I have 3 correct and 2 in the wrong... Okay. Maybe that's like that? No. So the 5 is the only one in the right spot there, so... What? Okay, hold on. Okay, if I go by the idea... Okay, I'm just gonna go through this and make sure that there aren't 2 2s. Okay, so I think what's happening... Aha! Okay. So there aren't 2 of the same digit, because otherwise this whole system wouldn't work properly, so to speak. Okay, so I have 2 wrong. So then I'm gonna go with that. Bingo. June 25th. Darkness of St. Peter. GLG once told me that he was infatuated to the point of it almost being a sickness with the poor girls brought up in the shelter. I heard these words through the speakers on the monitor set up in my sparsely furnished room, connected to my desktop computer. I could see GLG's face through the monitor, and he looked somewhat exhausted. So I went and looked into them, and as I came into contact with them, I found out that when provided with the opportunity to use it, the girls had immense talents that could be made to blossom. Sometimes, in order to do that, things would get dangerous, but that made it all the better for me. Does that mean you were drawn to them sexually? I questioned GLG. The me in the monitor wasn't the real me, but Meru. I think so. I think that might be my own sexual perversion, even if they're from the shelter. I don't feel the same way about men. The girl who was plugged in system tried to make Meru smile, but at that time I went against the system and expressed my own feelings. I sometimes felt like doing that. Does that mean that you love me? With that, GLG somewhat mysteriously narrowed his eyes and stared at Meru on the monitor, but his mouth formed an ever so slight smile. Yes, that's right, Meru. I love you. I thought that if that was the case, then anything was okay. I had my physical body taken, but was given a heart in return. It was way better than before. For the first time in my life, I was aware that I was actually happy at the time. Also, I thought GLG was the only person who would treat me like a proper woman. Truly, the only one. Okay, so she's Meru. So does that mean, so that means there was actually another person controlling Meru. Pin code found. June 25th, huh? So you're a Cancer. We might make a good match. Okay, now to see if I can read the mail or not. Oh, 0625. And 5. Bam. We're in. Okay. So is this going to be the mail or something else written by Meru? Soil of Dhaka. There was one man among my live chat clients who knew about all sorts of things and would share info with me. His name was Shoot. He knew that Meru and I were copies of Milu, and he seemed to know a lot about the string of deaths in the tower high-rise. It happened one day after spending several weeks drinking tea and chatting with Milu until dawn. During one of our live chats, I asked Shoot a question that had been on my mind for a while. All the people who've died were killed because of really stupid reasons, right? Huh? Well, yeah, pretty much, he answered me matter-of-factly. I/Meru rested my chin on my hands, and I looked into the webcam and cutely tilted my head. So they were killed because of stupid things, like, for example, throwing out trash on the wrong day, right? What about it? So at first, it was thought to be organized crime perpetrated by the apartment landlords, wasn't it? That's good, Shoot replied with a smile. You're not exactly right, but you're not far off either. Your guess there sounds kind of ridiculous, but you're on the right track. It's funny. But it was actually done by people called the Regional Adjustment Bureau. Hey now, come on. That's dangerous. I never said that name, okay? I laughed. You're afraid of being adjusted yourself, right? Of course I am. He seemed a bit offended. That's fine, but what I don't understand is a more fundamental point. That is, what is the point of killing off all these people for such small and ridiculous reasons? Also, most of us residents don't even really think much of it, you know? Do you really want to hear my opinion? Yeah, I do. Okay then. Everything I say from here on is just my imagination, but... Okay, tell me what you imagine then. Just as I thought, Shoot had smiled. He immediately stopped smiling and coughed, and then he told me the following. The answer is murderous intent. Murderous intent? Basically, living in the 25th Ward, you begin to want to kill people. Is that true? Yeah, it is. I don't really get it. What do you mean? If you live in the 25th Ward, you should be feeling it, too. I mean, if you're just a program, then I guess maybe you wouldn't feel it, though. Then try explaining it in a way that even a program could understand. Okay. I mean, it's basically just what it sounds like. For example, if the person next door throws out trash on the wrong day, then we get pissed off about that. Like, really amazingly pissed off. Why? Because they don't follow the rules. Shoot suddenly became really angry. There's a suspicious gleam in his eye. If it happened just once or twice, then I would understand. In fact, I could forgive it. But people can't just toss out the trash whenever they want every time. That kind of idiot should just die anyway, I think. But that's just, like, your opinion, though, right? It's just my opinion, but a really strong one. In fact, I feel like, why the hell does that guy keep on living anyway? Because we all follow the rules in life. Garbage needs to be thrown out on the days set aside for that. Everyone works really hard in order to keep these rules going. If there's a day when you just can't take out the trash, then sometimes you buck up and live with stinky garbage for 3 days or so, while trying not to puke, you know? Nobody can just ignore those rules and live however they feel like it. That's how a society works, isn't it? So you don't just sort of think they should die. You feel murderous intent towards them. Yeah, that's right. In the 25th Ward, getting annoyed or irritated or getting pissed off at someone always leads to that. But, I mean, even so, I don't actually kill anyone though, you know? Then it isn't murderous intent, is it? It is, because one day, when the neighbor who keeps fucking up the garbage ends up getting killed by someone, I'm like, oh, well yeah, I guess someone protecting the 25th Ward finally killed off that dickhead next door. I sure am grateful for that. Good job, thanks. And I feel more at ease. Like, I feel much better when that happens. I feel like I wish I could have seen the dead neighbor's body and stuff too. More than the fear of me myself getting killed next, that catharsis is way, way bigger. It's a kind of catharsis? Yeah, to the point where you can feel the dopamine releasing in your brain. Then there's the game called Sudden Death. It's popular among the users at Quarter. Playing games like that to make it even more fun feels great. I keep saying the same thing, but this is all just my own imagination. And to be honest, I love the Regional Adjustment Bureau. It's an absolutely necessary organization. They take care of the dirty work for us. Those guys are the real public servants. Hey. I suddenly remembered something about Goddess. What is it? She's been throwing away combustible trash with non-combustible trash, like, every time, recently. Seriously? Seriously. She was keeping it a secret, but I know that she's been doing it this whole time. Shoot opened his eyes as if he was suddenly shocked. Meru's eyes moistened up. The real me was getting really excited, and as my body started shaking, I froze my gaze on the monitor. Oh, she... Wait. So would they know this ahead of time, or did she rat her out? Displaying mail. Bingo. See? I'll check out this mail. Okay. Is this an actual mail, or are we going back to Meru? Winds of Baku. Oh boy. Since starting to live as a girl who was plugged in, I, as in my previously separated body and mind, started to finally come together. However, as Meru, while I was becoming a person who had emotions, it was only when I was acting as Meru. Even so, it was so mysterious how my warm, heavy body actually didn't just rot away and die. Conversely, as I continued living like a hermit, I did keep myself healthy and full of nutrients, so I continued to gain weight. Maybe my physical body had finally started to develop properly. I don't know how old I am, but at the very least it was clear to me that I had not yet reached my 20s. As my weight had become about twice what it once was, I started feeling differently about Meru. Just as Shute had told me, the fact that she was mixing up her garbage got me so angry that I was no longer able to overlook it and forgive her for it. This is the sort of rule that everyone needs to follow, and it can't be broken. And it also annoyed me that she was Meru's original as well. Furthermore, the fact that she was getting so much love from GLG was becoming unbearable. When speaking to me, GLG was very kind, but there was always this sense that his mind was somewhere else as he spoke. And I could feel it. It was all because of her. I thought it would be funny if Meru were to be adjusted. I thought about what would happen afterward. Meru should die too. She may be a program, and if so, she should be deleted. If that were to happen, only Meru would be left of the three. A total victory. But I felt that that was something different from murderous intent. It was a cooler emotion. Maybe it's because I'm different from other people. It was something closer to curiosity, an interest in what would happen if Meru died. I wonder how she would die when it actually happened. According to what I heard, the RA Bureau used a strange weapon called a pin stick when carrying out their adjustments. Apparently, it had a long, hard, sharp pin that would stick a person from the back of their neck and reach all the way to their heart. And I imagined it in detail, like a long, thin penis protruding from Meru's crotch. What? I imagined it in such detail that I actually sort of wanted to try drawing a picture of it. But the bad intentions that swelled up inside my heart never came to shape, and even then I would meet with Meru via the monitor several times a week, drinking tea and coffee, and sometimes alcohol, and talking with her. The way Meru spoke was the same as it had been before, to the point where you couldn't even tell she was the sort of person who would mix up their garbage like that. Apparently you've been making all sorts of predictions recently, Meru asked me this while staring into the webcam, as if trying to see what sort of expression I had on my face, even though she knows that Meru is simply computer graphics. What? Just a little bit, I answered. It was the truth. I just talk about the random visions I happen to get sometimes. I wouldn't call them actual predictions. Do they turn out to be true? I don't know, but the clients like to make up these stories and make all sorts of comments about them, I guess. So they're not true, then? I've never looked into it, so I don't know. With that, I gave Meru a somewhat troubled expression. I was happy to think that finally, I was able to keep a secret from Meru. Uh-oh. Well, for some reason my internet's cut out, it seems. I'll be looking into that shortly. Shit. What's wrong? I shouldn't have shown you this mail. I feel like this isn't something I should be showing anyone. Sounds to me like you're getting careless. Yeah, you're right. Hey, about your special powers. Does anything come to mind? Yeah, but I don't want to talk about it. It's a bit late for that, isn't it? Come on, just tell me. Well, it's probably that I can talk to dead people. Dead people? People who've just recently died. Also maybe people who are about to die. Anyway, apparently I can communicate with people like that. I see. Yeah. You know, that's probably not dead people, but their residual thoughts. Huh? Really? You want some more whiskey? Oh yeah. Okay, one more, I guess. I'll have one too. Flowers of Astana. Meru dies on a moonless night just before midnight. Turtle Guy appears and steals the password. Goddess looks up at the ceiling and suddenly stops breathing. The vision was amazingly clear, so I had just assumed that it was my own wishes and desires that I was imagining. As I was acting naughty with Shoot, I suddenly typed out those words, like I was some sort of automated writing program. but I just could not seem to figure out what the part about Turtle Guy appearing and stealing the password meant. Where did it come from? Did it mean something? I had no idea. A Turtle Guy stealing a password. That sentence sounds like a joke. And what exactly was a Turtle Guy anyway? 3 days before the moonless night, hoping that Meru would somehow be killed, I contacted the Regional Adjustment Bureau anonymously. When I had that idea, I suddenly realized that all the people who had been adjusted so far were probably adjusted due to other residents reporting their habits too. Adjustment should be something that is contracted by the residents. Using a customer who would talk about how he was able to get his hands on anything via net auction, I obtained an illegal number for a phone for which the owner's info had been deleted. I used this to make an anonymous call to the RA Bureau. I used my very own actual physical body to make the call. It was actually the first time ever in my life that I would use my own voice to speak to someone over the telephone. Maybe it was because of that, but I wasn't able to report her properly. As soon as they answered with, "Hello," I suddenly froze up and had a ringing in my ears, and my mind went blank and I couldn't think of anything. I knew I had to use words and speak aloud, but I couldn't. I was only able to make a strange sound with my mouth, and so I almost immediately just gave up and hung up the phone. It was completely different from Meru's constantly smooth and cool communication skills. When I wasn't plugged in, I was even more of a useless waste of meat than before. It was embarrassing. So I thought about what had happened. Now, I was the one who most wanted to be able to believe Meru's predictions. I felt that Meru could only be killed on a moonless night. Of course, the normal, rational part of me thought that was totally fine. If that were to happen, then I would simply continue to live the same sort of life I had been living up to that point. But the part of me that wanted her dead just would not go away. The image of her staring up at the ceiling with her mouth wide open, looking like a fool, stuck through. It was burned into my mind and wouldn't disappear. I think my internet's reconnected. Not 100% sure. Oh, I have options. Look or cell phone. Look? Residual thoughts. Oh yeah. I feel like I know that. I feel like I've been talking with them for a while now. Actually, I think maybe even now. What? Hold on, I'm gonna save real quick. Just in case. Data 2. I'm gonna try looking again, just see if it does the same thing. Yeah, okay. Cell phone. Look? How the hell am I supposed to? Oh. Okay. Damn. I can't figure this out. What the hell? Shells of thin foo. Thin poo? Thin foo. I'm gonna guess. The night of the new moon. The air was thick and a chilly wind sometimes blew. That day, I was unable to calm down from the time I got up in the morning. Then, when the sun had gone down, and you could finally say it was night, I found out that Turtle Guy had appeared. Turtle Guy appeared on Meru's channel at quarter, and came into chat asking for the password for Goddess. I received a mail from Meru explaining all of this. Her mails were always extremely businesslike and formal. The mail, entitled Suspicious User Report, had his handle, ID, and IP address. And the entire chat log was also attached to the mail as a text file. As I was reading the chat log, someone called for me by messenger. I clicked on it to see it was Shoot, and he told me that just then, a stranger had called him at home and offered to give him info about Goddess all of a sudden. Chute was told to come to the clock tower in Area 7 of the tower high-rise in 10 minutes, but he didn't seem like he was going to go. He really hates meeting with people. Like me, he rarely set foot outside of his apartment in the tower. I assumed that the person calling Chute at his home phone was Turtle Guy. I made a quick decision, asked Chute to give me the number left in his incoming call history. I sent him a message saying, I can get to the clock tower in 5 minutes, so I'll go and take a peek at this guy as a joke. I'll report later, and left my room. Okay. So it was really Meru. What are you thinking about? That mail? Yeah. You know, I'm a bit concerned. Concerned? About what? They say that when you feel like you're being careless, it's good to sharpen a knife. Huh. Really? Yeah. A guy I once dated was like that. There was a huge age difference, and you probably don't care, but... No, tell me about it. It's nothing important. The proper way to sharpen a knife is actually pretty difficult. If you're interested, check it out online. You can find all sorts of ways to do it. Okay. Basically, the fact that it's difficult is sort of the point. It's hard to sharpen it properly, like for an amateur to give it a proper edge. But in order to get it sharp, you need to get a sharpening stone and just go to town with it. Apparently it helps chip away at whatever's bothering you too. I see. Probably sounds like bullshit coming from me. But I've tried it out, so I know what I'm talking about. Putting your all into sharpening a knife makes your senses get sharper, too. Slowly, but surely. All the unnecessary garbage disappears and only what's important becomes visible. Sharpening a knife can do that for you. Huh. How much longer can this go? Waters of Nassau. I met with Turtle Guy. I wasn't even able to make a proper phone call, but I spoke with him, directly, and about all sorts of things. I wasn't able to look him directly in the eyes, but I strangely didn't feel fear or uneasiness at all. I knew that he wanted to speak with Goddess, so I made a quick decision and put on an amazing act for him. I wondered if he worked for the Regional Adjustment Bureau, but then actually meeting him, I knew that it wasn't so. I knew because I could tell that he was the same type of person as me. I'm certain that he still doesn't fully understand himself just yet, but he was definitely brought up in the shelter. Something led him here. Almost like he was sleepwalking, like a lonely animal wandering through the forest, controlled by fate, like me. When I thought of it like this, I felt like something was squeezing down on my chest, some strong emotion. What in the hell? Oh, whoa. Turtle carving, cell phone, look, license, red. And the fake me. The me of the past. That's right. Sharpening up my mind. That's what I need to do right now. Okay. Ah. What? What, we're just gonna stare at the same things over and over? Fake? Why? But I I made this. That's for certain. Oh yeah, I got a knife and But I made this, that's for certain. Okay. The me of the past. What happened? Oh yeah, I got a knife and I shouldn't remember, but I also shouldn't forget. Damn it. But a warning. That was it. Okay. License, maybe? No, cell phone. Where is this place? What the hell is happening? Tears of San Salvador. As I finished my meeting with Turtle Guy and went back to my room, I began some preparations. I sent a message to Shoot. I made him promise not to chat with Goddess at 11 p.m. Just as I had warned him before, Turtle Guy appeared and stole the password, which meant that the thing we spoke about previously was going to happen. Next, from my closet, I got out the pinstick gun I had procured for me by the same man who got the illegal cell phone. It was the real deal, with some kind of origami attached. I was confident that I could play this through. Climb up behind the ceiling and stab Meru through the top of the head. What? The fact that I had imagined it in such thorough detail must have been because it was me who was meant to kill her like this. But did I really possess the murderous intent necessary? I felt like maybe I didn't. At that time, what I felt was a sense of calling. That murderous intent I had held on to for so long until recently was nothing more than an opportunity. Gun and phone in hand, I stood up. What? So the RA Bureau didn't do it, is what you're telling me. Glass. Look. What the hell? Whoa. It's all decayed into ruin. Everything. Oh yeah, her too. I should have looked at the glass, I think. Moon of Fialta. I go back to my room. The feeling of firing the pin stick is still buzzing in my hands, but I sit down in front of my computer like nothing happened. Then, just as always, I reach out to the same keyboard as usual with the same fingers. Talking to Turtle Guy was fun. I was able to talk to him several times that day. I called him again after Meru died, too. Once Meru died, the entire flow changed. It was me who changed it. I got my hands dirty and changed it. I used the phone and the mail I sent from the cell phone to tell him about sudden death. I acted up like a storm. It was so exciting. I wanted him to know that Meru could predict things. Soon, GLG will disappear from before me. When that happens, it's you who will become involved with me next. That's what I really wanted to say. To you, my very existence itself is like a gun with the same sort of pin stick equipped to it. Once again, I sat down in front of my computer and prepared. Turtle Guy entered my channel on Quarter. There was something very important that I had to tell him. I had to tell him that this is the beginning. What the hell? From to sub no title. If you've opened and are reading this mail, then it's almost certain that the person reading this is me. I'm writing this to myself with that belief. The me of the future has probably lost several memories. Soon they will be coming for me. I had stayed on the run, but it's finally gotten to the point where I can't run any longer. If I get caught, they're going to mess with my head, so I decided to seal off some of my memories. I've been thinking about and preparing for this for some time. I decided to use hypnosis to bury certain memories way deep down. If I am ever allowed my freedom again, then that must mean that I don't know anything. I can't do anything, and am no longer either a threat nor a boon to them. What I mean is, that's you now. So I'm warning you, trying to forcibly retrieve those memories is dangerous. It will only bring you death. They are watching you. Don't ever forget that. At any rate, danger will come someday, so you'll need to be ready for it. Your enemy is not one single organization. You're going to need weapons. The super strong sort of weapon I wasn't able to hold on to. You're going to need to find her. She's looking for you too. Those special abilities should be helpful. And do not forget this, no matter what. The only one who can stand up against Kamui is Ayame. What? The flower that blooms. After I finished chatting, I wrote a mail to GLG. I thanked him for taking me in even though I was void of normal emotion, for teaching me about the shelter, and more than anything else for treating me like a woman, even while knowing that physically I was a man. What? Oh, that's why... Wait. So that's why... Shoot looked like that when Morishima met with them. Okay, until I was given the existence of Meru, the reason that my mind and body were always all messed up is because I have gender identity disorder. My body is a man, my mind is a woman. I don't know if I was born with it, or if it was due to my life in the shelter. The splitting of genders happens over several stages in between the sperm fertilizing the egg and the birth of the child. Physical gender is set 8 weeks into embryonic development, and mentally it happens between 5 and 8 months. When this process works out properly, the child's gender matches up in both body and mind. So with gender identity disorder, some sort of trouble occurs during that process, and the genders of the body and mind split up. This is one possible theory. In fact, there are actual recorded cases of this happening. Anyway, precisely because my mind and body were all messed up, the girl who was plugged in system fit me. Meru and I were a perfect match. Although I'm a fake woman with the appearance of a woman, the clients as my audience, my communication with others as a woman, and having felt what it's like being treated like a woman, I was able to find who I was supposed to be. When that happened, for some reason, my special abilities of a shelter child suddenly made themselves apparent. I sent the mail and took a deep, deep breath. I thought about the future, my calling, my fate, my destiny. What the fuck? But why did she have to be killed? And by my hand at that? It's because she was absolute evil. Because she didn't throw her trash away properly? No, of course not. She was the stereotypical embodiment of Kamui. Kamui. Then what about Ayame? Am I good, then? That's not it either. I'm an Ayame believer, but I don't believe in good nor evil. It's just a standoff. If A is evil, then B is called good. That's all. I understand. So the standoff itself is the problem. That's exactly right. Right in the center of that standoff is where he is. And so because of that, yeah, that's why he gets killed. What the f... Is that the end of... I let this run a little longer because I figured that would be the end of Yogore. Holy crap. Shizuku is coming soon. The long day is over. Well, holy crap. That explains a lot, honestly. Yeah, I'm gonna save. I'll save over this one. Trophy earned, Yogore! Alright. So I might as well start saying, if you enjoyed this video... Wait. Oh, it's still placebo? Really? Well, dagnabbit. I was hoping it would switch. Maybe it won't. Alright. Well, it didn't switch over. Lunar orbit. Okay. Well, okay. Still, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, a comment, subscribe if you want to see more, and share it with anyone else you think might enjoy it. If you want to suggest a game, leave it in the comments below, and check out links in the description for the 25th Award, the Silver Case on Steam, although this is the PS4 version that I'm playing. And well, in the next part, we're going to start the lunar orbit from Matchmaker. Back to the RA Bureau and see what they're up to. Until then, though, this is DZ, your overlord Deseran. You all have a great day, and I'll see ya.